We are getting so lucky lately. I am just having the coolest people approach me that want to do an interview. So I guess maybe you're the lucky ones because you get to learn about these interesting people that are around here. But I was approached by one of our newer fitness professionals. She's got an excellent history in dance. And I say this a lot at the beginning of the show. I know nothing about dance, ballet. I'm not an expert. I wouldn't even say that. I know nothing. So she'll be able to educate me and us. She's also been doing a great job as a fitness professional. And so please welcome her to the show. Her name is Alana Zimmerman. Alana, thank you for joining us here. It's really great to meet you. So you have this background in dance and, you said you started at age 4. But you're not from here, are you? You're from somewhere else.
Yes, I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
So I just moved to the Texas area like 6 months ago. Yeah.
You know what? I know people from Boston, and they always have an accent, and you don't.
I know. I feel like I disappoint people when I say I'm from Boston and the accent doesn't come out. About 30 minutes out of the city, so not quite, but
all right.
Sometimes
I was born in Philadelia, and I'm sure
okay.
I'm 6, but I have none of that.
Yeah.
My family does, like the coffee and stuff like that. It didn't hit me.
Yeah.
So I missed that. But so when did you move here?
In June 2023. So about like 6 months ago.
Okay.
Yes.
So you were there this whole time?
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
went to college there, grew up there.
Wow.
That's the only place I've ever lived besides now.
Okay. Where'd you go to college?
Bridgewater State University.
Bridgewater State. Okay. I've not heard of it, but it sounds.
Most people haven't if you're not from the area.
So at age 4, you started in ballet. Is this?
Yes.
Now, so I did not know, well, maybe I did know, but that ballerinas start young, but I know gymnasts start young. What's it like doing that at age 4?
Yeah, I feel like every little girl sort of will join a dance studio and their parents will bring them to ballet and tap classes. So I kind of did that. I was trying to figure out what I liked. I was never really drawn to sports at a young age, and dance really just stuck. So I started in ballet and tap at age 4, and then I let out into other genres. I joined the competitive team at age 8, I believe, and then I competed up until a senior year in high school, and then I got my degree in dance in college. So it's really all I've ever known.
Yeah. I would say which definitely puts you in the expert category of knowing about that.
Yes.
So like I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about my life for a second at age 4, and I don't think I was doing anything outstanding. So did you think it like, I don't know, kept you from doing anything that you would have wanted to do, or is it just kind of like that was what I was meant to do and I'm happy I did?
Yeah, I think it was what I was meant to do and I'm happy I did. Like I said, I was never really drawn to anything else, so I kind of found my niche and sort of stuck with it. It definitely did take over my life. There was not much time to do anything else, but I was okay with that. It sort of became like my identity and what I was able to relate to, so I was okay with that.
That's great.
Yeah.
So but I mean, there must have been, this is study time, this is dance time, this is dance practice time. I mean, it's kind of like that. You got the schedule.
Yes, and unlike, other sports, there's no season. It's constant. So it's all in and out of the year for 18 years.
So what would you say then as a fitness professional? What would you say about, so sports that don't have an in-season or obviously that's tough to actually implement strength and conditioning. What would you do? This is a broad question.
Yes.
We could talk we go in depth, but what would you
for sure.
How do you do that?
For sure. I think my biggest sort of takeaway, especially now being a fitness professional, strength training myself, being in this space, the lack of awareness and the lack of kind of promotion of taking care of ourselves is so prevalent, especially in competitive dance, professional dance, like Broadway, things like that. They probably, have trainers on set, but like the competitive dance side, like in hometown studios, really sort of lacks that awareness and that education. I mean, I was getting injured constantly getting injured, pushing through injuries, not really sure how the injuries are coming about and what I could do to prevent them. Sure, we train in the sense of training for the performative aspect of it, because you're kind of training to create an experience for other people. You're not really training for yourself and for your own health. So kind of looking at now, seeing what I could have done differently, ways I could have prepared my body for the load that was being put on it, that's kind of lacking.
Would you do? I mean,
yeah.
I was getting nitty gritty. What would we do? Because what age was it where, oh, okay, this started to wear on me?
I think as soon as I kind of went over into the competitive side of things, where the hours became longer, the practices became more enduring, things like that, where we really was kind of thrown into it, not really prepared. I mean, we go across the floor, do some exercises, do some crunches and planks, and then just kind of go on with our day. Like there was no really way of saying like, okay, if we want proper turnout, we have to strengthen the glute medius and we have to strengthen the adductor muscles and so that they can hold that position, and we have to increase hip mobility and pelvic floor strength and things like that. So I think there's a need for some sort of strength, endurance professional on the scene to sort of create programs for these dancers, whether it's in the studio or outside, so that they can be performing as optimally as possible for themselves.
Like it's interesting because we do, and I've seen this, sports that are high impacts, even if I'm going to jump off, I'm going to jump really high and come back to the ground, it's high impact. We're like, oh yeah, let's do a plank. If I don't overload the body for the amount of load of that impact, jumping and returning, I'm actually not doing anything. I'm really interested. I understand why there are these sports performance clinics for young people now. And they do have squat racks and they have things that are sized for a child. And I mean, now the only other thing is, will this kind of loading limit my range of motion? Will it build too much muscle bulk? Will that not serve me as a dancer? What do you think about that?
No, it's so true, because I guess the progressive overload version of dance would be, as we get older, the routines become more intense, the movements become more difficult, and we're not really preparing our bodies for those movements and developing progressively in a way where we can be safe about it. We're just kind of taught these movements and kind of jump into it with a trial and error. So some sort of progressive overload program, whether that's increasing endurance, increasing intensity, increasing volume of exercises in the studio and outside of the studio, to sort of prepare you to increase, because as you get older in the dance space, as your routine becomes more enduring, you're expected to perform more. Like I said, like with other sports, you're sort of training for yourself to become a better athlete. For dancers, you're training for others.
Yeah.
You're training to put on an experience for others. So
what age do you think is too young to like put a bar on your back, squat with it, or lunge with it? Or
I think if you go safely about it, it's never too young. I think if anything, it teaches body awareness. It teaches, being safe, gives kids body autonomy. So
it's crazy because like when you're doing something slow and heavy, it makes the nervous system fire so hard that when you land or whatever you're going to do, the muscle will activate so heavily that it protects the entire joint from experiencing any damage or excessive impact or anything like that. It's really neat. I don't know. I'm always torn back and forth. So we're like, well, they're doing a lot already. So there's going to be a good way. And I just always lean to lifting. I think lifting is one of those things where it can be done slow yet heavy. And that protects them from all these other load bearing things that they're doing. But you got to find a time when can I do this? When's a month that I can implement this? So
absolutely.
Adding more on top of them.
Absolutely.
So, they still have rest time and everything. So do you ever want to, okay, so now you, did you start in personal training or did you go, was it aerobics classes first?
Yes. So the bridge between dance and the fitness space for me was through group fitness. So I started teaching bar, which has that endurance aspect, that choreography aspect. Started teaching spin, and then got myself into the personal training field.
Okay.
So
okay. That's good. So now you're a personal trainer. Do you want to ever get out there and try to implement strength and conditioning or dancers? Is that a thought that you've got?
Yes, that's definitely a goal of mine, because I got my degree in dance. I thought that's what I was going to end up doing. I think I ultimately just got burnt out, to be honest with you, and I wanted to start taking control, taking care of my body. So now I strength train and I feel a lot better. I'm a lot more strong. But it's something that I would love to sort of bring in, use my past sort of, and then combine it with what I'm doing now for help better other people.
So do you have any, like, what would you do? What would you do right now? Let's say you had a, dare we say 10-year-old? 10-year-old, 12-year-old, what do you think you'd implement? What would you tell her too? What would you tell her about your experiences? That, because, you know, anybody listening to this, we're not just talking to that girl, but we're talking to everybody right now. What would you tell her to watch out for, to be careful for, to do differently? That maybe, because you told me that you felt there were some things you could, if you knew,
Sure.
I would have done differently.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think more outside of the exercise itself, I would try to stress the idea that you are a dancer and you're doing it for yourself. There's so much focus on the aesthetic aspect of dance, looking good for other people, showing up for other people. You kind of lose that self-identity while you're doing it for yourself, to sort of shift the focus from the physical to the mental.
Okay.
And then from there, you know, prepare her just to be safe and be aware of what her body's capable of and how to keep it moving.
And you were talking about burnout. How many years did you do this? 20?
Yeah, right about.
I don't think anybody's going to get burnt out.
Yeah.
I only played football from 4th grade to 12th grade. And then college came and I was like, I don't think I'm going to.
Yeah.
I think I had enough, you know, and enough concussions and stuff. You're like, they're like, yeah, you can destroy some brain cells like that. I'm like, cool, man. I don't know if I'm going to turn into a mushroom or something like that if I keep this up. But
for sure. I think when it came time to apply to colleges, that's all I had really ever known. So I just kept rolling with it. But yeah, I got to a point.
So are you loving personal training?
I will love it. I love it so much.
What's your favorite part about it?
It's so validating and rewarding to see my efforts be appreciated by my clients. Again, less on the aesthetic, more on how they're feeling. Like I have a client who has had double meniscus tears. He's in his 70s. We've been doing a lot to strengthen his knees. And he just texted me the other day that he went and hiked Big Bend and that all of our efforts were really helping his knees. So things like that just make me very, very proud and very happy to be doing what I'm doing.
And that's a little bit of a something there. You know,
it is,
you can hang your hat on. Yeah. Double meniscus, and now he's hiking.
Yeah.
Big mountains at age what age?
70s. Yeah.
It's outstanding.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Any other big, results that you want to talk about that you've seen from people?
Yeah, I have a client who is in breast cancer remission. She got a double mastectomy. So we've been doing a lot of postural work with her, strengthening those back muscles, the chest muscles, just bringing more stability into her body. And her results have been outstanding as well. She has such a weak core. So she used to not be able to do like 1 rep of a core movement. Now we're into 12. So we're sort of building that stamina back in for her. So that makes me really excited because she deserves it.
If you had a favorite kind of client, it's okay to be, especially like, man, I'm along with the ladies better than I do them. Who's your ideal client that you just love helping?
I don't know if it's cliche or not, but I love clients that remind me of myself, I guess, because I'm able to sort of give them what I would want for myself or what I feel like I'm lacking. So females sort of in the 20 to 30 age range, where they're healthy, but they're ready to sort of take it to the next level. They're up for anything. They're open to trying anything, where we can really get some cool results.
I think what you'll eventually find, given what I know about this place, is that the A&M, the A&M law camp, you'll eventually have a couple of those, because I had a lot of fun females that I trained for.
Yes.
And they are tough.
Yeah.
And they just will get it done. They got the lawyer mentality.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
yes.
Around.
Yes, they progress so quickly that it keps you on your toes. Like, where do we go from here? So, yeah.
Now we got to set new goals because we blasted those other ones to death.
Exactly.
But we are super glad you made your way here.
Thank you.
Obviously, if I can ever help you, you let me know.
Thank you.
And I forward all the people learning about you and get this on Facebook. And so, just keep doing what you're doing. Doing a great job. Proud of you.
Thank you.
So keep growing. You'll be an excellent personal trainer.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I feel very lucky to be part of the team. So
You bet. Thank you, everybody. Take care.